Today's story will leave you on the edge of your seat, a shocking moment of injustice that turned into something no one expected. But before we begin, I want to know, where in the world are you watching from? Type your city or country in the comments. Let's see how far this community reaches. And if you love gripping emotional stories like this, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe so you never miss a new episode. Alright, get ready, because this story starts right now. Harborside Plaza woke slow as vendors lifted shutters and commuters flowed around the fountain. Morning wind lifted coffee steam above sidewalk tables today. Maya Brooks tapped forward with a white cane, mapping space by echo, counting steps. Her cane touched a chipped tile by the newsstand. She angled, skirted a briefcase, murmured an apology, then returned to her line. The signal chirped. She waited at the domed curb bumps, thumb on the rubber grip, breathing even. Engines, footsteps, gulls, a scooter's whine, all painted her mental map. When the chirp clicked to go, she stepped off and counted softly. A patrol cruiser rolled across the crosswalk and idled too close, engine heat brushing her knuckles. Inside sat Officer Kellen Doyle, gum cracking, eyes glued to red fabric. Dispatch had squawked about a shoplifter in a red jacket. He didn't bother with details. He had a match and a mood. "Stop," he barked. "Hands where I can see them." Maya turned toward the voice. "Are you speaking to me? You deaf too? Hands up." "I'm blind," she said, tipping the cane. "Please speak from the front." So I dropped the stick. "It's a cane." Pedestrians slowed. A teenager raised a phone. A bike messenger unclipped and hovered. A delivery truck honked. Maya kept her voice steady. "Officer, I want to cooperate. Tell me how to position. Turn around. Hands behind your back. I haven't done anything. Last warning." "I cannot safely turn from an unknown position," she said. "Please place a hand on my shoulder so I can orient." Murmurs rose. "She's blind," someone called. Doyle's jaw flexed. He stepped out, boots hard on paint, hand drifting toward a yellow taser. "What's in the bag?" he demanded. "Groceries. I'm heading to work. Report says red jacket stole from a boutique." "What boutique?" "Stop stalling." The taser came free. The plaza shrank to the hum of electronics and Maya's heartbeat. She raised an empty palm. "Officer, please. I'm not resisting. I cannot read your stance. Do not deploy. Comply. I need tactile guidance." The trigger snapped. Wires spit. Barbs bit. Current flooded muscle. Maya arched, a cry tearing loose. Cane skittering away. She hit the asphalt. Cheek grinding grit. Breath wrung into jagged gasps. Limbs fired in stuttering jolts. Sound splintered. A woman crying. A vendor praying in Spanish. Sneaker soles scuffing. Horns rattling the air. "Stop moving," Doyle shouted. Taser still aimed. He trapped a wrist, wrenched it back, ratcheted a plastic tie until pain flared, then cinched the other. The zip ties burned. "I'm blind," Maya whispered. "Please." "Should have complied," he said. "Look at the cane," the bike messenger said. "She's blind, officer." "Back up," Doyle barked. Scene control. Engines rumbled from the avenue, deeper than squad cars that tuned thunder of armored SUVs. Heads turned. 3 black trucks swung around the corner in a precise echelon. Lights dark, movement smooth, no sirens, only inevitability. Doors opened in unison. Suits emerged, scanning without panic. The air seemed to pull tight. Doyle straightened, surprise flickering into irritation. He thumbed his radio, spitting code. "Unit 12, I have 1 detained. Send patrol backup." The lead suit flashed a badge that caught a stripe of sun. "Federal Bureau of Investigation," he said, voice carrying. "Do not approach the woman on the ground." "This is my stop," Doyle snapped. "Move along." A second agent moved past the leader, compact, composed, hair coiled tight. She crouched beside Maya's left shoulder, hands visible. Her tone slid from command to care without losing steel. "Ma'am, I'm Special Agent Kira Lang. I'm 2 feet to your left. I won't touch you without permission. Are you hurt beyond the taser points?" "Hands are tied. I can't feel my cane." "I see the restraints," Kira said. "Officer, holster the taser and step back." "She matches. She is disabled and restrained," Kira said. "Holster, now." Engines idled like distant thunder. Phones hovered. After a beat, he shoved the weapon into its holster, shoulders high. "Thank you," Kira said. She angled toward Maya again. "May I cut the tie?" "Yes." A small knife clicked. Plastic surrendered with a dry snap. Blood returned to Maya's hands in hot pins. She hissed, flexing fingers until sensation warmed. Kira nudged the cane with a shoe, then placed it against Maya's palm, announcing the movement before contact. "Here it is." "Thank you," Maya breathed. Sound steadied. The plaza didn't. The lead agent murmured into a throat mic. Another scanned rooftops. A third tracked Doyle with relaxed vigilance. "EMS is en route," Kira said. "We'll keep the area calm." "On whose authority?" Doyle asked. On mine, Kira replied. And on the Department of Justice. He took a grudging half-step back, gum slowed, jaw tightened. Around them people whispered, filling the charged quiet after violence. Maya pushed a palm against the ground and sat, joints protesting. Kira stabilized the air near her elbow, careful not to touch. Take your time, I'm here. What is happening? Maya asked. Why are federal agents here? Kira weighed words. We were nearby on a separate matter, she said carefully. We heard a call we monitor and responded to ensure safety. Safety, Maya repeated. She folded the cane across her lap. Will my name be recorded as a suspect? Not by us, Kira said. Right now we're concerned with your well-being. Sirens wailed blocks away. Gulls argued overhead. A newspaper flapped and wedged under a tire. The moment stretched like wire, humming. Doyle's hand hovered near his belt. The lead agent slid to intercept his line of sight like a chess piece sealing a file. The teenager whispered, Are we really seeing this? The bike messenger said, Keep filming. A vendor crossed herself. Wind combed the courthouse flags. Fountain mist cooled the air. A bus door side closed. The city carried on while a small square of it held still enough to hear every breath. In that stillness, the next chapter gathered, heavy with consequences no one dared name yet. The ambulance eased into Harborside Plaza and stopped beside the curb. 2 EMTs jumped out with a monitor and a red bag, cutting through the cluster of phones and worried voices. Special Agent Kiara Lang raised a hand and created space around Maya Brooks, who sat upright now, cane across her lap, breath tight but controlled. I'm Lila with EMS, the medic said, kneeling. I'm at your right side. I'll describe every touch, any chest pain, dizziness, pins in my hands. Chest tight, Maya said, flexing her fingers as if a line of braille might appear to orient the room she could not see. We'll run an ECG and clean the probe marks, Lila replied. May I begin? Yes. Officer Kellen Doyle hovered a step away, jaw locked. Agent Mason, the FBI lead, addressed him without raising his voice. Officer, confirm your body cam is recording. It's on, Doyle said, thumb drifting toward the square unit on his chest. Do not touch it, Mason said. Your body cam and the taser cartridge are evidence. Evidence for what? Doyle scoffed. A routine compliance stop, Kiara narrated softly for Maya. I'm removing the remaining zip tie and placing it in a bag. Lila, proceed. A teenager edged closer, phone lifted. Do you want my video? I recorded everything. Mason turned. Your name? Jax, thank you. Scan this code. An agent raised a placard with a giant QR code. Upload the original file. Keep your copy. You may be contacted for a statement. A bike messenger rolled up and tapped his helmet camera. Wide-angle continuous, he said. Name's Ethan. We'll intake that as well, the placard agent said, opening a secure portal on a rugged tablet. A vendor in a green apron, Rosa, repeated what she had heard, hands shaking as she spoke. The line of witnesses grew, and with it a quiet certainty that the morning would be remembered clearly. Inside the ambulance, Lila applied cool electrodes and watched the monitor draw neat lines. Rate is elevated but regular. I'll clean the puncture sites and dress them. Antiseptic bit the air. Tape clicked. The steady beeps pressed the chaos back to the edges. Am I under arrest? Maya asked. No, Kiara said. You are receiving care. If you choose, you can give a statement afterward. Doyle keyed his radio. Sergeant to Harborside, now. Briggs en route, dispatch replied. Mason held out a labeled bag. Eject the spent cartridge and place it here. Slowly. Doyle's mouth flattened. Our chain of custody runs through the department. Still, he removed the cartridge and dropped it into the bag with a reluctant click. A white supervisor SUV rolled in, lights splashing the storefronts. Sergeant Briggs stepped out with measured calm. Status, use of force on a disabled civilian, Mason said. We're securing physical and digital evidence and collecting community recordings. We'll cooperate, Briggs answered, polite but firm. Internal Affairs handles body cam releases. Footage feeds to our server. We're mirroring the data to prevent loss, Mason said. Are you accusing us of tampering? I'm ensuring redundancy, Mason replied. You can observe the copy. An FBI tech opened a Suburban's hatch. A compact workstation glowed inside. Evidence seals, write blockers, a hardened drive. The placard agent continued funneling videos into the portal. The plaza, moments ago jagged and loud, began to move with intent. Lila touched Maya's wrist. Pressure is a little high. Expected after a shock. We can transport, or we can keep you here and recheck in a few minutes. I'll stay close, Maya said. I want to speak when I can stand. You'll have that option, Kiara said, taking position at the door like a quiet hinge between safety and the storm outside. Doyle's thumb crept toward the body cam again. Kiara didn't raise her voice. Officer, hands away from the power button. Habit, he muttered, stepping back. A navy-blazered man hurried from a sedan and flashed a pin. Union Counsel, he announced. Officer Doyle, Do not answer questions. Sergeant, establish a press line. No one is questioning your client, Mason said. We are duplicating data. You're overstepping. We're following federal procedure, Mason replied. A fourth black SUV arrived. An agent stepped out carrying a hard case and a sealed envelope with a red diagonal. He passed the case to the tech and the envelope to Mason. Mason broke the seal, scanned 2 pages, and slid them into his jacket. Something in his posture settled. Briggs noticed. What did you just receive? Authority, Mason said, and a reminder to keep this scene honest. Cloud shadow cooled the plaza. Fountain mist drifted like a fine rain. Phones kept recording. A tourist uploaded DSLR footage. A bus driver sent dashcam clips. Every angle tightened the timeline. Inside the rig, Maya's breathing steadied. Agent Lang, she asked, will I be safe giving my name? You decide what to share and when, Kira said. If you want, we can arrange counsel and an advocate. I want an advocate present, Maya said, and someone to guide me across that curb without treating me like a prop. You'll have both, Kira said. Copy process started. The tech called. Right block engaged. A progress bar crept across the rugged screen. An evidence clerk read the taser serial number while another agent photographed the prongs and wires. The union counsel whispered at Doyle's shoulder. Briggs watched the mirror drive like a man guarding a gate he didn't build. A helicopter thudded somewhere distant. Media clustered at the end of Water Street. Dispatch crackled in Briggs's ear. The plaza felt like a stage seconds before the curtain jumped. The progress bar climbed. 90%, 91, 92. Someone in the line of witnesses gasped at something unseen beyond the fountain. The air tightened and held, waiting for the next click in the chain. A sedan swung around the corner. Lieutenant Hahn stepped out, scanning faces. Mason lifted a hand. Doyle clenched his jaw. Inside the rig, Maya reached for her cane. As Kiara turned toward commotion, the sedan stopped just shy of the fountain. Lieutenant Hahn emerged, tall and unhurried, scanning every detail with the calm of a man who had walked into storms before. His badge glinted at his belt, his voice measured when he spoke. Sergeant Briggs, he said, brief me. Briggs stepped forward. Officer Doyle initiated a stop. It escalated into taser deployment against this woman. Federal agents intervened. Hahn's gaze shifted to Mason. We arrived nearby and observed. We secured the scene, evidence and witnesses. Hahn's eyes cut to Doyle. Did you verify identity before force? Doyle swallowed. Report said red jacket, shoplifting. She matched. She's blind, Hahn said flatly, gesturing at Maya in the ambulance. Blind, restrained, and tased in the street. Doyle's mouth worked. The union lawyer laid a hand on his shoulder, whispering a reminder. Sergeant, Hahn continued. Log Doyle off active duty now. Briggs hesitated. Mason filled the pause. We've mirrored the body cam. Cartridge secured. Multiple witness uploads processed. Hahn exhaled through his nose. Steady. Very well. Officer Doyle, turn over your firearm to Briggs. You are relieved pending inquiry. The plaza gasped as Doyle stiffened, color climbing his neck. This is out of line. It is protocol, Hahn said. His tone didn't lift, but the air around him carried authority enough to stop Doyle's words. Reluctantly, Doyle unclipped his belt, slid the holstered pistol free, and handed it grip first to Briggs. The crowd murmured, phones arching higher. Someone whispered, finally. Another breathed, justice. Inside the ambulance, Maya tilted her head. What is happening now? Kiara crouched again. A senior officer has relieved the one who hurt you. You are safe. Would you like water? Yes, please. Kiara opened a bottle and pressed it gently to Maya's hand. Maya sipped, throat still raw, voice firmer when she set it down. I want to make a statement, but I need it documented exactly as I say. You will have that, Kiara said. We'll record it formally. You'll have a copy. Mason turned to the assembled witnesses. You may be contacted for follow-ups. Anyone afraid of reprisal can request anonymity. The footage already stored is encrypted. It cannot be erased. Rosa, the vendor, raised a trembling hand. They can't silence us now? No, Mason said. Not this time. The union lawyer cut in, sharp. You are poisoning the process, agent. This is a departmental matter. Hahn's reply was simple. It's a matter of law, and law is not poisoned by sunlight. Briggs looked uneasy, glancing from Mason to Hahn to the growing circle of phones. Then a wail of sirens broke the stillness. News vans, lights spinning, anchormen adjusting ties as they leapt from doors. Reporters surged, shouting questions, microphones thrust over shoulders. Step back, Mason ordered. Agents shifted, forming a living wall. The crowd pressed tighter anyway, hungry for clarity. In the middle of the chaos, Maya lifted her chin. I will speak for myself, she said. Kira hesitated. then nodded. I'll stand beside you. EMTs steadied Maya as she rose. Her cane tapped once against the floor, then found the pavement. She stood at the open doors, one hand curled around the cane, the other brushing Kira's sleeve for orientation. Her voice carried, not loud, but clear enough to cut through the noise. My name is Maya Brooks. I am blind. This morning I was ordered to stop, accused without proof, tied and tased. I could not see where to turn. I could not see where to raise my hands. I asked for help and received pain instead. I survived because strangers spoke and others listened. The plaza hushed. Even the reporters lowered their microphones for a breath. Doyle's jaw ground audibly. Han inclined his head, solemn. Mason looked at Kira, and for the first time that morning, the steel in her face bent into something like pride. The union lawyer hissed into Doyle's ear, "Do not speak," but Doyle's voice snapped out anyway. She matched the suspect's description. "I followed procedure." "No," Han said. "You followed bias." The words hit like stone. Witnesses murmured agreement. Phones flashed. Maya's lips trembled, but she steadied them with a deep breath. "I want to walk away standing, not bound." "You will," Kira assured. "We'll escort you when ready." From the avenue, a fresh convoy approached. Not news, not local cruisers. 3 more black SUVs, this time with lights pulsing red and blue. Engines low, windows dark. They moved with precision, unhurried, certain. The FBI wall shifted subtly, agents recognizing their own reinforcements. The plaza bristled. Something larger than an arrest was building. Doyle sensed it too. His shoulders rose, breath shallow, eyes darting to escape routes. Briggs stood still, watching. Han didn't flinch. The SUVs stopped, doors opening in practiced sync. More suits stepped out, some carrying hard cases, others speaking into comms. Their faces were unreadable, their pace deliberate. The plaza's hum fell to a waiting silence once more. The next layer of this story was arriving, and with it, a weight heavier than anyone there had expected. The second FBI convoy formed a wedge by the fountain, then opened like a hinge. A woman in a navy pantsuit stepped out, gray at her temples, posture composed, eyes taking in angles, distances and faces in one sweep. "Assistant Special Agent in Charge Dana Rivera," she said, showing credentials to Lieutenant Han and Sergeant Briggs. Civil Rights Squad now assuming field command. Engines idled in a hum, flags lifted above the courthouse, and the fountain spray drifted across warm stone, laying a fine mist that made everything gleam as if the plaza itself were holding its breath. Mason met her at the tape, body cam mirrored, cartridge secured, witness uploads funneling into a protected vault. EMS cleared the victim to remain on scene. "She wants counsel present for a statement." "Set mobile," Rivera ordered. Agents unfolded a compact command kit from a suburban printer, seals, tablet dock, audio recorders with time code. Reporters pressed microphones. Kiertru raised a palm. "Briefing later. Back up." The union lawyer leaned close to Doyle, murmuring instructions. His client stared past the fountain, jaw locked, weapon surrendered. A small woman in a marigold jacket threaded the crowd with practiced precision. "Nadine Clark, legal advocate," she said, flashing ID. "Ms. Brooks requested representation." Kiertru checked the badge and stepped aside. Nadine climbed into the rig and placed a hand near Maya's elbow without touching. "I'm at your left," she said. "We move at your pace." "I'm ready," Maya answered, voice steadier than her hands. Rivera lifted 2 fingers. "Record in 60. The evidence clerk synced clocks, read the date, time, and location, and watched a red LED bloom. Kira narrated the room for Maya, who stood where, how the tape hummed, where the ramp began. Orientation settled like ballast. "Please state your name," the clerk prompted. "Maya Brooks," she said. "I consent to recording." "Tell us, in your own words." Maya described the chirp at the corner, heat off the idling cruiser kissing her knuckles, a voice floating from no fixed point, her request for guidance answered by commands, then crackle, fall, grit, pain. She named fear without surrendering to it. She detailed the zip ties, sensation fleeing and returning like blinked stars. She mentioned strangers steadying her, an agent announcing every motion, the cane placed back into her palm. Outside, Mason walked Briggs through a parallel process. "On-site hash of the body cam," the tech said, snapping a right blocker in line. "We compute SHA-5-6 and print with timestamp. Your server copy must match the value." Briggs glanced at Han, then nodded. "Proceed." Doyle didn't move. A detective from burglary jogged up with a tablet. "Lieutenant, we have a suspect 6 blocks east," she said. "Red jacket, tag attached, bag full of merchandise, cashier identifies." Han studied the booking photo and angled it toward Briggs. The face bore no resemblance to Maya. Neither man spoke to the crowd. A single look toward Doyle carried enough weight. Rivera flicked her gaze to the traffic camera at the corner. "Morales, pull the intersection feed," she said. "Coordinate with the city. Full resolution, original timestamps." Within minutes, a cherry picker lifted a technician to the housing. Morales monitored the copy. A printed hash landed on the tailgate, another link in the chain. Inside the ambulance, Nadine asked one clarifying question about distance and direction. Maya answered carefully, avoiding guesses. The clerk stamped the time. 2 drives spun, lights pulsing like heartbeats. "Would you like to stay seated or step down?" Nadine asked. "I want to stand and leave upright," Maya said. Kiara extended an elbow. "At your left," she narrated. Maya tapped once, found the lip, and descended with deliberate control, accepting orientation but refusing any lift. The onlookers quieted without instruction, respect moving through them like wind. Rivera stepped to a portable mic. "No questions," she said evenly. "Key materials secured. Initial testimony recorded. If you filmed, upload via the posted code or meet the clerk. Do not edit or filter. Preserve metadata." A reporter called, "Why is the Bureau here?" "Civil rights are federal," Rivera answered, then killed the mic. Han stopped at a courteous distance. "Miss Brooks," he said, "I'm Lieutenant Han. I'm sorry for what occurred under our colors. A formal inquiry began the moment I arrived. With your permission, a community liaison will provide updates. Contact me through Nadine," Maya said. "Document every communication." "That will be done," Han replied, stepping back to make room for a person rather than a file. The evidence tech announced, "Hash complete." A page slid from the printer. "Device ID, file length, checksum." Briggs verified the numbers, signed, and kept his copy. The FBI sealed theirs, and logged chain entries aloud. Rosa approached with a cold bottle. "Agua," she said softly. Maya's fingers brushed calloused knuckles when she accepted. "Gracias," she said, meaning more than water. Rosa exhaled, relief loosening shoulders that had been high since wires snapped. "Wrap the lane," Rivera told Mason. "We'll relocate command to the field office. Drives move under escort. Continue collecting witness files for another 30 minutes. She glanced at Doyle. "Sergeant, move your officer separately," she added. "No gauntlet, no theater." Briggs signaled a cruiser to the far curb. Han positioned himself between Doyle and the densest cluster of phones. The union lawyer murmured, "No remarks." Maya faced the fountain mist, cooling sting along her cheek where the pavement had scraped skin. Kira described the ramp's edge. Nadine matched pace, legal pad tucked away, presence steady. Jax lowered his phone, surprised to find his eyes wet. Ethan locked his camera back onto his helmet and promised himself to send the raw file untouched. More codes scanned. A bus hissed. The plaza resumed movement. Not normal, not yet, but moving. Maya's spine stayed straight. Each step became a choice. The story didn't resolve. It widened, and all around her, people decided to carry a piece of weight forward until someone, somewhere, would be forced to meet it with answers that couldn't dodge the light. The convoy repositioned, lights pulsing blue and red against the glass towers, casting the plaza in flashes of urgency. Maya stood steady between Nadine and Kira. Kane aligned with the curb. Around her, phones rose again. The story had grown too large for whispers. It was spilling into feeds and broadcasts in real time. Agent Rivera's voice cut through the hum. "All units, secure transport. Victim rides with advocate. Civil Rights Command leads." She turned to Maya. "You'll ride in our vehicle. No restraints, no pressure, just safety." Maya inclined her head. "Thank you. I will go." Doyle shifted, flanked by Briggs and 2 officers. His eyes darted, jaw flexing, words locked behind Union Counsel's warning hand. He looked at the crowd, at the phones, at the fountain spraying steady arcs like nothing had happened. And for the first time since the morning began, his shoulders sagged under the weight of inevitability. The FBI tech closed the rugged case with a click and handed it to Rivera. "Primary evidence sealed, checksum verified. Escort rolling," Mason called. Engines ignited in sync, black SUVs humming like a single machine. Han stepped forward. "Miss Brooks, I will follow with my unit. Transparency requires our eyes remain on the same road." Rivera gave a short nod. "Understood." Nadine whispered to Maya as they walked. "Every step, documented. You're not alone." At the suburban door, Kiara narrated the seat, the belt, the orientation. Maya slid in, spine straight, breath steady. Nadine followed. Kiara closed the door gently, not like custody but like shelter. The crowd pressed closer. Reporters shouted, "Why is the FBI here? Will there be charges? Is the officer suspended?" Rivera faced them once more. The Department of Justice enforces civil rights. The investigation is active. No further comment. Her hand cut the air. Agents fell in, and the convoy rolled. Inside, Maya spoke softly. What happens now? Nadine replied. They will ask questions, seek truth, and this time there is record from every angle. Kiara added, and justice, Ms. Brooks, will not be delayed. Back in the plaza, Doyle was guided into a cruiser, shielded from the crush of cameras. Phones tracked him anyway. Murmurs swelled, some angry, some relieved, all charged with the sense that something irreversible had happened. Rivera's SUV led, Masons followed, and the rest formed a protective shell. Sirens remained off, but lights washed the road in alternating blue and red. Pedestrians stopped and watched as the motorcade passed, some raising fists in silent solidarity, others pressing palms together in prayer. Maya leaned back, fingers wrapped around the cane laid across her lap. The barbs still ached at her skin, but her voice was firm. I will testify. I will stand. Nadine touched her arm lightly. And we will stand with you. Kiara glanced out the tinted glass, scanning intersections, then back to Maya. Minutes ago, you were on the ground. Now the Bureau moves for you. That matters. Maya nodded, lips pressed thin, determination drawing lines across her face. The city blurred by, brick facades, market stalls, flashing headlines already carrying her name. At the field office, the convoy pulled into a secure bay. Doors opened in sequence. Maya stepped down, her cane clicking on concrete, every step echoing louder than the idle engines. Rivera waited, files in hand, ready to move the process into halls where accountability could no longer hide. The story had begun with a crackle of wires in a public square. It now stood in the full weight of federal authority. The plaza witnesses carried their videos home. The city carried its questions forward, and Maya carried her truth, scarred but unbroken. Justice had arrived not with sirens, but with presence, and it stood at her side.